Time to end this suffering. I need a minute to myself. So I can drift away. You will never get to me. What can be done, I'll do myself. So I can slip away. What's around, what's for? What's losing control? What's around, what's for? No one about to break. What's around, what's for?
Hello, my good people. Welcome to another episode of Radio Stews Nation, brought to you by Kathy Dixon. That's KATHYDIXON, in parentheses, Match Pets on Facebook. Again, it's Kathy, KATHY, Dixon, DIXON. In parentheses is Match Pets, and that's on Facebook. Check her out. She saves animals all around the country from the comfort of her own PC. And I think that's a wonderful movement. Her goal is eventually to stop all unnecessary animal killings in shelters across the United States. I appreciate that movement. I think it's a wonderful thing, and shout out to her. Check her out on Facebook, Kathy, KATHY, Dixon, DIXON, in parentheses, Match Pets. That's her Facebook, so check that thing out. Throw her some likes. She definitely deserves it for the business that she conducts on there. So shout out to Kathy Dixon, of course. Now, before I shout anybody out, I just want to say that I have noticed a trend of about 7 followers that I have. I've only been doing this for a week. I know it's been a while. I actually ran out of ganja. I just hit that re-up, so I'm back. I'm ready to get back in action and start laying down on these fights. Now, my boy over here, while I'm doing my shout out to CCSIZ, by the way, check out his channel. That guy's, he got some pretty good breakdowns. He also reviews some movies and things like that. I don't have necessarily the funds to follow him in that, but I wish him all the best and all the luck. CCSIZ, that's Charlie Sierra Indigo Zebra. Also, shout out to the Weasel. That's the Weasel, WEASLE17, the Weasel 17. He and I are going to start a contest to see who can predict the most fights correctly. He's a little bit ahead of me. His record is currently 7-1. Mine is currently 1-1. Now, he's also breaking down Bellator, which I don't think I'll be doing as much. So I don't really know how this contest is going to work out. But if he misses some events, or if I miss some events, somehow, hopefully, we'll even out eventually. But shout out to the Weasel 17. Check his channel out. Subscribe us up. He's got a good eye for the fights. He breaks them down, quite well. I would, I consider him in high regard. So check out his channel. That's the Weasel 17. Excuse me, get my Dutch sparked up here. Hold on just a second. All right, there we go. Okay, so tonight, excuse me, been a little bit. Tonight I'm going to be breaking down, predicting the fights for tomorrow night. Me in particular, I'll be doing UFC. I'm just going to put it out there right now. Since the Weasel predicted this fight, we got Meathead, Mitrione, and Fedor. They fight, I believe, tonight, if I'm not mistaken. Meathead's record is an 11 wins, 5 losses. He's 38 years old. I did not know he was that old. He's a good-looking guy. He's 6'3", 255 pounds. His last UFC fight was a loss by TKO to Travis Browne, which I felt like was a disqualification due to eye pokes. So, in my opinion, Meathead should have won that fight. And then we got, what do they call him? The Russian Emperor or some shit. The Red Emperor, the Last Emperor, whatever the fuck. Fedor. I don't know him too well. Apparently he's 36-4. What I do know about Fedor is that he fought in Pride, and what I do know about Pride is not only did they rig fights by outright rigging them, but they also put giant beasts like Fedor against 70-pound Japanese men. Not to bash Fedor, I mean, look at Ronda. You got people like Ronda who crushed a bunch of people who weren't so. Don't get me wrong. Alexis Davis is a decent fighter. Kat Zingano, I thought was a wonderful fighter. But, as my friend the Weasel 17 pointed out, Kat Zingano and many other of Ronda's opponents have not had much to speak of in regards to footwork. And that is a serious problem. I know that's always been my favorite part of fighting is that groove, you know what I mean? Back in the day, you put that Rocky song on, you start dancing, hitting that bag, you know what I mean? It don't even matter if you like that song. That went something about, anyway, that's not even the point. But, so I think that Meathead, I think Matt Mitrione is going to go out there and he's going to show everybody. And honestly, I have seen some stuff from Fedor. I mean, obviously, I didn't see any of it when it was happening back when the sport was young and Pride was still a huge thing. I was a young guy. I didn't start getting into it until I saw Anderson Silva knee the crap out of Rich Franklin, because Rich Franklin was my favorite. I noticed Rich Franklin. Anyway, I never really got too into Fedor, but Fedor, he is 40 years old. He's 6 foot tall, 223 pounds. He's a lot smaller than Meathead. He seems, his reaction time doesn't seem as split second as Mitrione's. I just see Matt completely outgunning him, probably wrangling him down to the ground, and I'd say he beats the dog piss out of him by TKO in the second. Now, Matt Mitrione is my choice there for that fight. Now, what I want to get into tonight, the important, not to say that Matt Mitrione or Fedor's fight is not important, but the part that's important to me is Lombard versus Hendricks. This is something that I've really been looking forward to getting into and hashing out on here. All right, so first, we got Hector Lombard. Hector Lombard is a former Bellator fighter. I believe he was maybe the first, definitely one of the first fighters that the UFC, him and Eddie Alvarez, Hector Lombard and Eddie Alvarez were two of the fighters that the UFC looked at Bellator and was like, we want them. And, after a while it worked out for Eddie Alvarez, but it kind of seemed pretty seamless when it came to Hector Lombard. Now, I don't know if he fought out his contract at Bellator, however that worked out, but he ends up in the UFC. I believe he was fighting at middleweight. Or was it light heavyweight? No, it was middleweight, because I remember him dropping to welterweight for a short span. So anyway, he comes in, he's not doing so great, he gets popped for, guess what, some kind of PED, something, I don't remember, don't quote me on it, I don't want to say it's a steroid, but come the fuck on, man, look at that guy, he's on it, he is on it. They called him, he got suspended, came back, I think he fought Neil Magny after he came back, or maybe that's where he failed, I can't remember exactly how it worked out. But anyway, he comes back, he fights Neil Magny. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure Magny TKO'd him, if I remember correctly. And not to say that Magny's not a magnificent fighter, but you let that twig of a man come in there and knock you out while you're looking like that. Pumped straight to your carotid fucking artery with steroids. And you come out there and Neil Magny, Stickman, beats the piss out of you. Neil Magny's a great fighter, don't get me wrong, but he's second level to me. He's not your George St. Pierre's, your Robbie Lawlers, and either, I don't even think Tyron is. I don't even think the welterweight champion. Now, don't get me wrong, no lack of respect for anyone. I don't think Tyron is on the level of your George St. Pierre's, your Robbie Lawlers. Anybody can punch somebody once and knock them out. I think if that fight happened again, it'd be different. But anyway, none of that is the point. Hector Lombard is a completely blown up fighter. He can't even, the guy can't take his own shirt off. He's so massive and big, and it does convert well into power. When he's fighting people who are at or below his skill level. Now, Johny Hendricks, when we take a look at this guy, he was a wrestler at Ohio State, I believe. He was a hulk of a man. He looked like a fucking Roman god. He really did. He in my opinion, he beat George St. Pierre in November of 2013. The last fight we actually saw, the last time we saw St. Pierre enter the octagon, Johny put a clinic on him. Not exactly. It was competitive, and Johny did slow down and start slugging out at some points throughout the fight. So it's not like it was this epic performance where GSP got dominated. But Johny put a drubbing on GSP, and he wore it on his face to the press conference and everything. Dana White completely reamed GSP and said he owes it to the fans. Welcome back, GSP. If those rumors are true, GSP is back. Welcome back. Again, no disrespect. I'm not the hugest fan of GSP. I don't want to sit there and watch you rub on someone for 25 minutes. But welcome back, GSP. I know he's got a huge fan base, and it's good to see him back. I just want some, I want this the company to flourish under its new owners, and I think that it's great that GSP's back. So shout out to GSP. Welcome back. Again, I'm getting off topic here. I know I do that a lot. Excuse me. So Johny beat the shit out of GSP. I thought he won that fight. So George, about a month later or so, goes on hiatus. George St. Pierre, the then champion of the welterweight division, long standing. I believe it was 6 years he was champion. And completely decimating every opponent by just grinding them down to the ground and tiring them out and just owning them for entire fights. It was amazing. You'll never see anything like it again, in my opinion. Now, I thought Johny beat George. Dana thought Johny beat George. Everybody thought Johny beat George. Everybody. There was hardly a soul. The only person that didn't think Johny beat George was probably like George's grandmom or something. Who knows? Anyway, everybody thought George lost that fight. 90% of people. There was, I think it was over round 3. I don't remember, but it was silly. And Johny comes out, and this is where I immediately stopped liking Johny. Knocked out Martin Kampman, I loved him. He beat the piss out of everybody, didn't say a fucking word. I thought he was excellent. Then he come out here and he's chewing on his chew in the back, and he's talking all this shit about how he goes 70%. I won 70%, and that's why I went to the judges. I don't want to fucking hear that, dude. I just spent $65 on this fucking fight, and you only threw 70% of your fucking power, and that's why the fight went to the judges, and you lost? Fuck you. You lost. Fuck you. So anyways, after that, it's he versus Robbie for the welterweight title. That fight, for me, had a huge, huge anticipation. I was all about it. Now, the fight went the full 5 rounds. In my opinion, Robbie won that fight. Went to the judges. Johny wins the fight according to the judges. I don't know what the fuck they were looking at that night. Couple months go down the line. We get a rematch. Now it's, Johny versus Robbie again. In a fight that I thought Johny won. Turns out, goes to the judges. Robbie actually wins by the judges. And I'm like, well, that's fucking backwards. But whatever. And ever since, man. Then the thing that happened next was kind of tricky for Johny, I feel like. Now, what he is blaming his new issues on with his weight is the USADA ban of IVs. Now, I get that in a sense. But motherfucker, when they came in there, you started looking skinny. You started looking smaller to me. In my opinion, I don't know if I'm wrong, but he looked like drained out. You know, not that he looked smaller size-wise, but he wasn't this ripped, shredded monster. GSP wanted that USADA. Here comes, he wanted VADA or WADA or whatever it is. He wanted to drug test Johny. They weren't having it. Finally, the UFC brings in the entire drug testing to drug test everyone. Johny starts getting skinny. He's got to move back up to middleweight. And now he's got to face Hector Lombard. Now, a recent memory fight that I remember also with Lombard was after he lost to Magny. He also lost to, this is Lombard now, lost to Dan Henderson. And Dan Henderson punched the shit out of that man and TKO'd him. Which is another reason that I feel as if both these guys are on a lower rung than the likes of, say, Silva when it comes to middleweights, or Rockhold even. Rockhold, I feel like, is of the top, whereas Lombard and Hendricks are more like, the Jake Ellenberger kind of deal, but only in middleweight now. And Johny also got destroyed by Stephen Thompson. Now, that shit was ridiculous. Stephen Thompson went in there, and I've never seen, short of, it was almost of the proportions of Silva versus Griffin. Wonderboy went in there and just dusted him. And you saw Johny get kicked, and his face was like, how the fuck did that guy just throw that kick and then land this one? There's no fucking way. And you saw him, he was just like, there's no way. I lose. And he lost. And, that's kind of been a trend for Johny. Missing weight, losing fights. And somehow this move up to middleweight is supposed to revive that. I do not think that is going to be the case. But I do think that Johny will get the W tomorrow night. And I think he will do so most likely by, I'd say, TKO, early second round. And my reason for this prediction is the fact that I feel as if Hector Lombard's chin has become deteriorated over his last two fights. We've seen it many times. Chuck Liddell. Some think Robbie Lawler. I'm not trying to agree with that because I'm a huge fan, but maybe, just after a while, man, you get punched in the face too many times, and your brain's just like, fuck you, dude, I'm going to bed. Ain't nobody knocking me the fuck out. So that's my prediction. I got Johnny Hendricks is going to get the W tomorrow. TKO, second round. Don't quote me on the exact way, but I feel like Johnny's going to come out on top. Whereas, I think even if it gets dragged out in deep water, Hector Lombard, like I said, he can't even take his shirt off. So, if it gets dragged in deep water, I think Johny has it there too with his wrestling acumen from Ohio State, I believe it was. So, like I said, check out my boys CCSIZ. That's Charlie Sierra Indigo Zebra. Shout out Kathy Dixon. In parentheses is Match Pets. Check her Facebook out. It's Kathy Dixon, KATHYDIXON, in parentheses, Match Pets. That's her Facebook. Shoot her some likes. She saves animals from all over the country. That is the United States. And also, shout out to the Weasel 17. The Weasel 17. He and I are going back and forth on this prediction thing. He sees things through a different light. And he makes some pretty good predictions. So he and I are going to be competing to see who can get these things right and who gets them wrong. Obviously, we're not going to keep an exact track because he does some Bellator too, I noticed, and I won't really be doing that. But I don't give a shit. We're competing. Check it out. hit the like, hit the subscribe. Don't even fucking like it. Just subscribe. I'm going to be here. Join me on this journey, people. I'm going to be here. It's Whip. I'm going to miss you. Till next time, I'm out. See you tomorrow. I'll be back with the Black Beast. Derek Lewis, the Black Beast, versus Travis Browne. We'll get into that tomorrow. So be ready to take a bite. Get your fucking forks ready. Subscribe or hide, because I'm coming at your motherfucking dome. If you don't, hit that like button. Whip is out. Peace.